Billy Bush apologizes to former Access Hollywood co-host Nancy O'Dell over Pizzagate tape of Trump talking about trying to F her. Billy Bush has reportedly reached out to Nancy O'Dell and apologized for disrespecting her in the now infamous Pizzagate tape of him and Donald Trump in 2005. Speaking on ET, O'Dell said how appreciative she was of Bush's apology on Monday. "Billy reached out to me just about 3 weeks ago by email. He wrote a really nice apology, which I appreciated very much," O'Dell said. "He and I worked together for so many years, for a long time, and I only wish him the best moving forward." In the tape that was leaked last summer, Bush can be heard calling actress Arianne Zucker, who was then on Days of Our Lives, hot as us, and also saying nothing while Trump went on about his Access Hollywood co-host Nancy O'Dell. "I did try and F her. She was married," Trump tells Bush on the tapes about O'Dell. "And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, 'I'll show you where they have some nice furniture.'" Trump went on to say, "I moved on her like a bee, but I couldn't get there. And she was married." Bush had only been at the NBC morning show for 3 months when he was terminated following the leak of his lewd conversation with Donald Trump, who despite his own offensive remarks on the hot mic tape from 2005 was elected president just a few weeks later. In a recent sit-down with Good Morning America, Bush explained that getting axed from his dream job was not as difficult though as the moment he learned that he had lost his daughter's respect. "Once we settled and got to connect, there was a powerful moment when my now 16-year-old daughter called me in tears and she was really upset and I said, 'Mary, it's going to be okay. You know, don't worry,'" Bush told Robin Roberts in a preview of the interview. "And she said, 'No, why were you laughing at things that he was saying on that bus? Why were you playing along, Dad? It wasn't funny.'" A stunned Bush responded by telling the teenager, "I am sorry, and there is no good answer for that." Meanwhile, in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Bush said that in the months after his firing he walked over fire with self-help guru Tony Robbins and attacked a pillowcase with a baseball bat at a week-long healing retreat, both in efforts to improve himself. Bush broke his 7-month silence in a sit-down with The Hollywood Reporter that was published over the weekend that featured more of his conversation with daughter Mary. Bush said that he told his daughter during that phone call, "That was Dad in a bad moment a long time ago. You know me. I am really sorry that you had to hear and see that. I love you." Bush said that the teenager needed to hear that and he needed to say it to her. His youngest daughter, 14-year-old Lily, decided never to watch the tape while his oldest, 18-year-old Josie, was instinctively protective of him. "My 18-year-old is more of a fighter. She was like, 'All right, who do I need to take out?'" Bush used his off time to work on himself as well, saying that he took time to read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now and even attended a Tony Robbins seminar in hopes of drawing inspiration from the self-help guru. "He walked to the end of the stage, and he pointed at me in the middle of his thing, and he said, 'One moment in your life does not define who you are,'" recalled Bush. "And the camera hit me, and these people started applauding. It was a little overwhelming but really empowering." He then added, "Later that night, we walked on fire together, 12 feet over 2,200-degree coals." Bush also spent a week cut off from the world to work on himself, with the depressed, bloated and miserable host heading to Napa and enrolling in the Hoffman process at the suggestion of his brother. "It's not glamorous. It was 7 days, no phones, no communication. And it's so overpowering and so draining that you have to sign an agreement that you'll take 2 days on your own by yourself before you go back to family or friends," explained Bush. "For 13 hours a day, it's a study on your life and your negative patterns. At one point, you're on your knees with a baseball bat and a pillow in front of you, and you're literally bashing these negative patterns that you've identified in your life." Bush said that by the end, he was able to start realizing some of his negative patterns, which is now working on as a result. "For me, one was judginess. I look back 3 years ago, doing Access Hollywood, and some story would come up, and I'd be like, 'Oh, these people, these celebrities, how can they not blah 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 whatever,'" said Bush. "So that became the moment of real awakening, and it went on from there. I've done everything." Bush called the experience the most powerful thing he did since his termination, and appeared to share 2 of the photos from his time at the retreat on Instagram. One showed him using a payphone to make a call, while in the other he was walking through a vineyard while looking to the sky and listening to some Neil Diamond on his headphones. Bush captioned the photo with Diamond's lyrics to Hello Again, writing, "Hello my friend, hello. It's good to need you so. It's good to love you like I do. To feel this way when I hear you say hello." Bush joined NBC's flagship morning show in August of last year after signing a deal that was said to be worth $3.5 million a year, but was gone by October. Multiple sources later told Page Six that the hot mic audio from the interview was leaked by an NBC News staffer to the Washington Post after they grew tired of waiting for an edited version to be aired by Access Hollywood. In that version of the tape, Bush's comments and responses to Trump were reportedly removed in order to protect the NBC host. Access Hollywood aired the tape shortly after a transcript of the exchange appeared in the Washington Post, keeping all of Bush's comments and reactions in their video. In the end, it was Bush's career that was derailed by the tape and not Trump's bid for the presidency, which he managed to pull off the following month in a stunning upset of Hillary Clinton. The TV host made a point of noting that he disagreed with President Trump's characterization of their now infamous conversation. "I am in a lot of locker rooms, I am an athlete, and no, that is not the type of conversation that goes on or that I've participated in," he said. Though shocking, he said he didn't take Trump's words seriously and thought he was merely playing up to his larger-than-life reputation. "He's a provocateur. Shocking statements flow like wine from him and he likes to captivate an audience. I felt that, in that moment, he was being typically Donald, which is performing and shocking. When he said what he said, I'd like to think if I had thought for a minute that there was a grown man detailing his sexual assault strategy to me, I'd have called the FBI." While Trump, who had just married Melania at the time, found himself apologizing to her, Bush's wife was more understanding. "Sydney knows the environment and the atmosphere I was in at the time, and she knows very well the person she married. She has been very supportive from the very beginning," he said. Bush admits he was wrong to laugh when the conversation turned to Trump's aggressive seduction tactics. Along with grabbing by the P, Trump boasted about kissing women without consent and said he could do anything to them because he was a star. Bush says he wishes he'd changed the subject but that his relative inexperience at the time and the brightness of Trump's celebrity stopped him. Describing his own personality at the time as almost sycophantic, Bush said, "It was my first year as co-host of Access Hollywood, and I was an insecure person, a bit of a pleaser, wanting celebrities to like me and fit in. There is an expression, meet them where they are for each person. For Ben Affleck, it's Boston sports. But I went way too far in my desire to keep this #1 star happy." The pair had spent significant time together before the hot mic comments, he said, and the conversation was normally about golf, gossip or women. He said he was nervous that Trump would be able to have him fired at any moment, a fear which quietened his better judgment when they were on the bus where the comments were made. "Looking back on what was said on that bus, I wish I had changed the topic. I wish I had said, 'Does anyone want water?' Or 'It looks like it's gonna rain.' He liked TV and competition. I could have said, 'Can you believe the ratings on whatever?' I didn't have the strength of character to do it." Now, he is ready for a comeback and claims that the scandal has done wonders for his grasp of the job and industry. "Having been in the job as long as I have, I developed a fairly thick skin. My skin is definitely thicker now, and my heart is a little softer underneath it. But I will say I think everybody should have the opportunity to apologize. I plan to return to the job that I love, which is television, communicating, interviewing people. I have changed in a way that I think will make me better at my job. I believe there will be more people like me in crisis. And with social media, a flame becomes a bonfire quickly. So I will be picking up my pen and writing them and calling them on the phone, and I will pursue these interviews and these moments with these people. And through what I've learned and where I've been, I will tell them, you have empathetic ears in me." While bosses didn't give him a chance to apologize, Bush's NBC on-screen colleagues including Tamron Hall, Hoda Kotb, Kathy Lee Gifford, Matt Lauer, Savannah Guthrie and Al Roker got in touch to offer him their support.